Hi friends, today I am going to explain the principal component analysis part 2. So in previous lecture I already explained the theory concept behind the PCA. So in today's lecture I am going to explain the mathematics behind the PCA and the implementation of the PCA in the Python programming language. So let's go to the topic. So here I am taking a small data set, so X and Y. So I am taking a small data set, so this is the X and this is the Y. So there are the two features, so x and y, these are the two features, and the number of samples, which means record 1, record 2, record 3, record 4, which means number of observations are the nothing but the samples 4. So feature x contain the values 4, 8, 13, 7, and feature y contain the values 11, 4, 5 and 14. So the step 1, first I am going to calculate the x mean and y mean. So what is mean by x mean? So 4 plus 8 plus 13 plus 7 by 4, which means the value will be 8, and y bar will be 11 plus 4 plus 5 plus 14 by 4, which is 8.5. So this is the x bar and y bar. So next I have to calculate the step 2, that is the covariance matrix. So what is meant by covariance matrix? So the covariance matrix expresses the correlation between the different variables in the data set. So it is essential to identify the highly dependent variable because they contain the bias and redundant information which can hamper to overall the performance of the model. So the covariance matrix can be calculated with the help of this formula. So sigma equal 1 to n xi minus x bar yi minus y bar divided by number of observations minus 1. So I have to find the covariance matrix. So this is the x and y, and this is x and this is y, which I have to calculate the covariance of x comma x and covariance of x comma y, covariance of y comma x and covariance of y comma y. So first I have to calculate the covariance of the x comma x. So the formula will be I is equal to 1 to n xi minus x bar multiplied with the yi minus y bar divided by number of observations minus 1. So here we have to calculate, this is the covariance of the formula for the covariance of the x and y. So if it is in covariance of the x comma x, means sigma I is equal to 1 to n xi minus x bar whole square divided by n minus 1. So which means that so here, so xi means, so this is the first value 4 and x bar means 8, 4 minus 8 whole square and 8 minus 8 whole square, 13 minus 8 whole square plus 7 minus 8 whole square divided by number of observations will be 4 minus 1. So the answer will be 14. So this is the covariance matrix, this value will be 14. And similarly we have to calculate the covariance of the x and y. So the formula will be like this. So xi minus means 4 minus 8 and y minus yi means 11. So this is the 11 minus y bar means 8.5 plus and 8 minus 8, 4 minus 8.5 whole square plus 13 minus 8, 5 minus 8.5 plus 7 minus 8, 14 minus 8.5 whole square divided by 4 minus 1, which means the answer will be minus 11. So similarly, covariance of yx will be the same. So covariance of xy and covariance of x will be both will be at the same answer. So this value will be covariance of x and x 14, covariance of xy minus 11, covariance of yx will be minus 11, and we have to calculate the covariance of y comma y. So how to calculate the covariance of y comma y? So here 11 minus 8.5 whole square, 4 minus 8.5 whole square, 5 minus 8.5 whole square, 14 minus 8.5 whole square divided by 4 minus 1, 3. If we calculate this value, you will get the answer 23. So it means finally we have the covariance matrix. This is the covariance matrix: 14, minus 11, minus 11, 23. So now you have to go to the step 3. Step 3, now we have to calculate the eigenvalues and eigenvectors and normalized eigenvectors. So first we have to calculate the eigenvalues. First we need to calculate the eigenvalues. So how to calculate the eigenvalues? So we have to find the eigenvalues. So for that purpose we have to take the formula det of a minus lambda I is equal to 0. So we have to take the covariance matrix. We have to consider the covariance matrix A is equal to 11 minus 11 minus 11 23. So this is our covariance matrix, and the lambda means this is the eigenvalues. We need to find the eigenvalues. So I is our identity matrix. So identity matrix here, this is the 2 by 2 matrix. That's why we supposed to take the 2 by 2 identity matrix 1 0 0 1. So now we have to substitute in this equation det a minus lambda I. So a means 14 minus 11 23 minus lambda I means 1 0 0 1 is equal to 0. So which means 14 minus 11 comma 23. So lambda 0 0 lambda. So lambda is multiplied with identity matrix, we will get this matrix equal to 0. So 14 minus lambda minus 11 23 minus lambda. So this is the our determined equation. So from this equation we have to calculate the 14 minus lambda. So this term is multiplied with this term. So 14 minus lambda is multiplied with the 23 minus lambda minus 11 into minus 11 equal to 0. So you will get the answer lambda square minus 37 lambda plus 201. So finally you will get this answer. This is the quadratic equation. So from this quadratic equation, so we have to find the root values for this quadratic equation. So this is called the quadratic equation. So we need to find the root values for the quadratic equation. So how to find these root values for this quadratic equation? There will be a formula. The formula will be minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac by 2va. So this is the formula. So from this quadratic equation, so quadratic equation formula looks like ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So in this equation a will be 1, so it is the lambda behind the one, there is a coefficient 1, and b is equal to minus 37, c is equal to 201. So we have to calculate the root values from this formula. So this is the, from this formula we can substitute these values. So what is the formula here? I will write again. Minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. A will be 1, b will be minus 37, c will be 201. So minus b means minus of minus 37 plus or minus root of b square means minus 37 whole square minus 4, a means 1 and c means 201, multiplied with the 2 into a. So this equation can write like this. So minus into minus plus, so 37 plus root of 37 square. So 37 square means 1369 minus 804 by 2. And so actually this is the plus or minus. That's why first we have to take the plus. Then next we have to take the minus. So 37 minus of root of 1369 minus 804 divided by 2. So this is the one root value and this is the another root value. So if you solve this equation, 37 plus root 565 by 2, 37 minus 565 by 2. So 37 plus root 565 means 23.76 by 2. 37 minus 23.76 by 2. So this is 60.76 by 2, 13.24 by 2. So this value will be 30.38. This value will be 6.62. So which means our root values, so this is the lambda 1, you can consider the 30.38 and the lambda 2 you can consider 6.62. So these are the root values for this equation. So next we need to find the eigenvectors. Next we need to, so what we did till now, so first we have to take the eigenvalues and eigenvectors. So eigenvalues, I am taking the, so we got the eigenvalues will be 30.38 and 6.62. So now I have to find the eigenvectors. Find the eigenvectors of lambda 1. So lambda 1 value 30.38. So the equation will be a minus lambda I is multiplied with this x is equal to 0, which means a means 14 14 and our identity matrix. So this is our identity matrix. So this is our identity matrix. This is our covariance matrix 14 comma minus 11 comma 23. So need to find the eigenvectors. So eigenvectors of lambda 1, that value will be 30.38. so a minus lambda I is multiplied with this x is equal to 0. So a means 14 minus 11 23 minus lambda I means lambda 0 lambda, and x means x1 and x2 0. So you can solve this equation 14 minus lambda. So 14 minus, you can take it is a 14 minus lambda, 14 minus lambda minus 11 23 minus lambda multiplied with this x1 and x2 equal to 0. So means 14 minus lambda into x1 minus 11 into x2 is equal to 0 minus 11 into x1 plus 23 minus lambda into x2 is equal to 0 into x2 is equal to 0. So from these two equations, this is the equation 1 and this is the equation 2. From these two equations we can solve, we can get the x1 value will be 11 and x2 will be 14 minus lambda. So we know the already lambda value 30 minus 38. So 14 minus 3 minus 38. So you will get the x2 value, that is minus 16.384. So finally we calculate the eigenvectors. X1 will be 11 and x2 will be minus 16.384. So this is the eigenvectors for this eigenvalue 30.38. So now we need to calculate the normalized eigenvectors. So now we need to calculate the normalized eigenvectors for x1. So not x1, for x. So that is the 11 minus 16.384. So for this thing we have to calculate the unit eigenvectors. So unit eigenvectors E1 is equal to 11 by root of 11 square plus minus 16.384 whole square and minus 16.384 divided by root of 11 square plus minus 16.384 whole square. So you will get the answer will be 0.5574 and minus 0.8303. So this is the normalized eigenvectors for this vector x. So now let's see in programming how it will be calculated. So first I am importing the required libraries numpy and pandas. So I am taking the x values, I create the data frame 4 11 8 4 13 5 7 4. So this is our data frame. So I am taking this so this is x and this is y. So initially I am taking this is the data frame. So from this data frame I calculated the x mean and y mean. So x mean will be, you can sum up these values by the number of observations, that will be 8, and y bar will be sum of this y feature and divided by the number of observations, will be 8.5. Let's see. So first calculate the mean values of x mean and y mean. So this is the x mean 8, and this is the x mean will be 8 and y mean will be 8.5. Now we need to calculate the center values. Center values means this is the how the -4 came. So how this value came? So initial 4 and df will be like this. This is the df and minus and the df mean. Df mean means x mean. So x mean means I am calculating the x mean is equal to 8 and y mean is equal to 8.5. So 4 minus 8, that is nothing but the -4, this value. 8 minus 8, this value is 0, so this is the 0. And the 13 minus 8, 5. 7 minus 8, -1. Similarly 11 minus 8.5, 11 minus 8.5, which means this is the y mean. So 11 minus 8.5, 2.5. 4 minus 8.5, minus 4.5. 5 minus 8.5, 3 minus 3.5. 14 minus 8.5, 5.5. So this is the df center values. So this is the df center values we calculated. Next we need to calculate the covariance matrix. So let's see, this is the covariance matrix. 14 minus 11 minus 11, 23. Exactly this covariance matrix we calculated here. So this is the covariance matrix. 14 minus 11 minus 11, 23. Let's see, 14 comma minus 11 comma 23. Now we need to calculate the eigenvalues and the eigenvectors. So for that purpose we have to import the method line linalg dot eig. We are passing this covariance matrix. So if you pass this covariance matrix, you can calculate this is the root values. So 6.61 and 30.38. So this is the values we calculated manually from here. See, so this is the lambda, this is the lambda 1, this is the lambda 2. So this is the 30.38. So 30.38. So 30.38, and this is the lambda 1, and the second lambda 2 is the 6.61. So 6.62. So this is the lambda values we calculated manually, and through program also we got the same values. Next we need to calculate the eigenvectors. So this is the eigenvectors we calculated. So the eigenvectors, how we got the eigenvectors, I will show you. First, initially here we taken the normalized eigenvectors will be 0.5574 and minus 0.8303. This is the values we got from here. So yeah, this is the values we got here. So this is the values I am taken here. So we need to calculate the first principal component values. For that purpose we have to use the formula. This is the E1 and we can convert it into the transpose. So E1 into E1 transpose, which means 0.5574 minus 0.8303 and multiplied with the multiplied with this 4, so which means x minus x mean, which means x means initially x value will be 4, x means 8, and y minus y mean. So initially for observation 1, so this is our observation, so this is our observation 4, so this is the 4, so don't be confused, I will explain again. So we need to calculate the first dimension, means we can convert the second dimension to first dimension. So for that means we have to calculate the first principal component analysis values. So that the purpose we have to take the normalized eigenvector values, that is nothing but the 0.5574 and minus 0.8303. so this value is the even values. So now we have to convert into the even transpose, means 0.5574 minus 0.8303, so and multiplied with this x minus x bar and y minus y bar, which means that 0.5574 minus 0.8301 and x minus x bar, x means 4, x bar means 8, y means 11, y bar means 8.5. so now you can calculate these values. Similarly, minus 4 2.5, so 0.5574 minus 0.8301, so you can calculate this value into this value multiplication, so you will get the minus 2.2296 and this value is multiplied with this value, you will get the 2.0757. so the final answer will be minus 4.3052. so this is the principal component for the example 1. For example means for this sample the PC1 will be minus 4.3052. See, this is the value you got exactly. So minus 4.3051, so minus 4.3052. so what is the value you got? The same value you got here. So if you want to calculate this value, now you have to take this same kind of values and take the second observation, means 8 minus 8 and 4 minus 8.5. so this values and multiplied with this value, you will get this value, and for third observation you will get this value, for fourth observation you will get this value. So this is the way you can calculate the PCA values. So here, so now this is the eigenvectors. So for calculating the PCA we need to eigenvectors and transpose. So this is the eigenvector values. So these eigenvectors we can take in here, the same eigenvectors, and these eigenvectors are multiple, transpose it. So this rows can be converted into the column, minus this value will be this value and this value will be this value, And so this is the formula. So eigenvectors of the transpose, so means these values are multiplied, means dot product with the df of center t. So df of center means, so this is the df of center, so this is the df of center, so it means this value means we can apply the transpose, it will be converted like this. So we have to multiply these values and these values, you will get the these values, so means PCA values. So the PCA values can apply the transpose, so it means converted into this row will be converted into the columns. See, if you see 1.92, 1.92, 2.50, 2.50, minus 2.200, minus 2.200, minus 2.23, minus 2.23, means first row will be converted into the one principal component, and this second row will be converted into the second principal component. So which means that I am taking the eigenvectors of the transpose. So eigenvectors of transpose means this value is multiplied with this value, you will get this value. If you see here, so don't be confused, so I am explaining here. So this is the formula for calculating the PCA. So eigenvectors of transpose, so eigenvectors of transpose means this value and multiplied with the df of center transpose. So df of center transpose means this value. So this value, which means eigen vectors of transpose means minus 0.8302 means this value, and minus 0.5573 means this value, and 0.5573 this value, and this value means minus 0.8302. This is a eigen transpose value. And this can be multiplied with this df of center transpose. So this is the df of center transpose, which means that 4, 0, 5, 1, minus 1.0, 4.0, 0.0. So this is the 2.5 minus 4.5 minus 3.5, 5.5. So this term is multiplied with this term, you will get this answer, and this term is multiplied with this term, so like that you will get this answer. So we can get the PCA values, means principal component values. When you apply the transpose, so these rows will be converted into the column. So this first row will be converted like first component, and this second row will be converted as the second component. So the same values what we got, the same result will be calculated through manually here. So this is the way we can calculate the PCA by manually. So if you apply the principal component, if you want to the PCA from the scikit-learn.decomposition method, so how many number of components we need, we have to give manually here. So I need the 2 components and fit transform on my df. Df means what? Df means this is my data frame. So in this data frame I can apply these 2 components, that's why we got the 2 principal components. This is the this is the PCA1, this is the PCA1 values, and this is the PCA2 values. See, if you compare these values and these values are exactly the same. And if you want to, and if you see this explained variance ratio, which means that the principal means the first principal component was explained by the 82%, and PC2 means second component was explained by the 0.17, means totally this 82.12, and this is explained by the principal component 1. First principal component means this one, and this value means explained by this factor, so means 17.87, which means about 91. So which means 91% is explained by these two principal components. So from these two principal components, if you want to need only one principal component, this is the principal component 1. If you want only one principal component, we have to give the value 1 here. Then you will get the one principal component value. So if you compare here, the same values will be displayed here. So minus 4.30, minus 4.30, and minus 5.12, minus 5.12, 5.69, 5.69. So here number of components, how many you want, means for example your data contain the 100 rows, 100 columns of the features, which means your data contain the feature 1, feature 2 up to 100 features. So means 100 records, 100 samples, and 100 columns. So when you apply the PCA, so PCA means 100 columns of the data. Suppose you can give the PCA is equal to 10. So 100 columns of data will be converted into forms of the PCA1, PCA2, PC3 up to PC10. Means 100 columns information will be reduced into the 10 components feature without losing the information. So that is the concept of the PCA. So PCA means dimensionality reduction. That's why we used to call the dimensionality reduction without losing the information. So 100 columns of this information can be, when you apply the PCA, so if you PCA, you can select the manual how many number of components you need to select. That is no one can explain you, no one can tell you how many components we need to train our model. So that is a trial and error, you have to give the value. So if you give the value and out of 100, if you give the 20, and these 20 components you can feed to your model and take the results, and you give the 25, 30, 40, 50, but nobody can tell you how many number of components we need from the out of 100 features for training our model, for getting the better results, for reducing the dimensionality. So instead of taking 100 features, if you suppose to take the 10 components, then automatically the time complexity will be reduced, and more fastly it will train our model, and it will give the result very fastly. That's why PCA will play a key role if your data set has the more dimension. So most of the time the PCA concept will be applicable in clustering concepts and classification projects, but PCA may not apply, they may not apply in the regression kind of problems. So most of the time PCA need to apply the clustering kind of problems and classification kind of problems, and especially PCA can be applied to the only independent variables, not with the target variable. So PCA can be only applied to the independent variables, not to the target variable. So now I will go to the another programming. So here I am taking the one data set. So my data set, it is the heart disease data set. So my data set will be like this. So my data shape will be 14 features, means 303 records and 14 columns. So what I am doing here, I am separating my data into independent variables and dependent variables. So my independent variables will be only 13. So this is only independence data. So I need to apply the PCA only on the independent variables, only to apply on the target variable. So here I am performing the PCA. So PCA means reduction is the feature is required because number of too many features present in the data. PCA is one of the method to reduce the features. So I am importing the library PCA. So I am feed to this my x means what? X means my independent data. So this is the data I am feed to the my PCA. So let me see the graph. So in this graph I'm taking the number of components. So actually my data input data x contain the 13 variables, means from 0 to 12. So that's why number of components I'm taking from 0 to 12. So here my first component, first PCA will be explained 74%, and second PCA will be explained by the 89%. So that third component is explained by the 98. So fourth component onwards, so approximately all values are nearby same values, so it means 99, 99, 99, 99. So means if you see how many values, how many components are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, which means our x contains 13 features. The 13 features of the information we can divide into the 13 components. First PCA can be explained by 74%, second PCA can be explained by the 89%. So even if you take the only first PCA, so if you take the 75, so rest of the 25% of information will be lost. So if you take the two components, so 89% of the information was explained by the PCA. So if you take the three components, so component 3, 0.98, which means 98%, so 2% are missing. So if we take here, which means 99.87, so approximately, so from here onwards all values are be 99 above. So what I'm taking, so here at component 1, this is the 75%. So at the component 1 it is taking the 74%. So at PCA 2, 89, so 89 means here, and third component 98, so this is the 98. So this is the PC3, PC2, PC1. So from fourth point, this is the PC4. So then from here onwards, so which means from PCA4 onwards, so this means we are getting the same kind of result. That's why we need to select the 4 components. We need to select the 4 components out of 13 features. So 13 features of information you can reduce it into the 4 components. Through this graph we can understand the how many number of features we need to, how many number of components we have to be consider for fit to your model. So here what I am taking, so that's why instead of the, so here the 4 components I am taking, that's why I am taking the number of components is equal to 4. See here, so this is the PC1, this is PC2, PC3 and PC4, which means PC1, PC2, PC3, PC4 means 13 features of the data can be converted into the 4 components by applying the PCA. If you give 5, here, you will get the 5 components. Suppose if you give the manual here, so compared to this table, both are same, don't be confused. So here PC1, PC2, PC3, PC4, but here giving the names PC1. So if you see here minus 12.26, minus 12.26, 2.87, 2.87, 14.96, 14.96, 6.89, 6.89. So means here how many number of components if you supposed to needed. If you give here, those many number of component information will be displayed here. So what I am doing here, so I am concatenating this information along with my target variable y. So for this first observation, this is the reduced dimension, reduced feature information. So actually here, if you see here, my X shape will be 303 rows and 13 columns. So PCA will be applied mainly on the number of columns. So here we are taking 4 components. Why? Because through this graph you can understand. So 4 components are enough to explain the explained variance ratio. So that's why my PCA will be shape will be 4. So what I am doing here, so here I am dividing my 13 features of information into, so I am taking this X value means 13 features and 13 features and take the X train Y train, so 13 features columns. So next time what I am doing here, I am taking the XPCA. So XPCA means 4 components of the information. So PCA dimension information. So here what I am taking, so here 14 features I am taking and feed to my model. So train my model, take the results. So this is the case 1. Case 2, what I am doing here, I am applying the PCA. So PCA is equal to 4. So this 4 features, so here 30, sorry. So this is 4 components I am taking, feeding to my model. The model will be trained and give the results. So now I have to compare this result to 1 and result to 2. So result 1 is this is without PCA, this is with PCA. So that is the thing. So here X and Y, so this I am taking the 13 columns and here giving the XPCA, so that's why we will get the 4 columns. So I am taking the support vector classifier library algorithm. So the same data, so X train Y train, so X train Y train means this is the data, 272 records and 13 columns of the data. So I feed to my model with the SV. So this is the SV, so which means that, so SV is the model apply on the 13 columns and SV1 is applied on the 4 components. So SV1 is applied on the 4 components means PCA, and SV model is applied on the without PCA. So remember this point. So here SV1 is applied on this X train 1, Y train 1. So X train 1 means this data. So in this data I am passing here means 4 columns. Here I am passing the 13 columns. So for 13 columns I have to give my model is SV, and 4 columns of the data I am giving my model name SV1. So now my predict. So see, accuracy score of the SVM without PCA means on X test, Y test and Y test and SV pred. So this is the accuracy I got. So means this is the result of the 14 column means 13 columns means which means without applying PCA. So this is Y test 1 and SV predict 1. So my accuracy was be increased. So compared to here this is the without PCA. I am taking the 13 columns means all columns of the data. So feed to my model. So I got a 74%. So here what I am taking only 4 components, which means PC1, PC2, PC3, PC4. So those information I pass here. So I will get the 83% from 74 to 83. So which means 74% of the information accuracy we got with the help of the 13 features, and 83% of the accuracy we got with the help of the PCA means 4 components. If you see the confusion matrix, if you observe here, so here 8 plus 0, so 8 plus 0 means 8. This is the FP plus FN, which means wrongly prediction. So Rangley prediction is the 8 observations. So here with PCA 5 plus 0, 5 plus 0 means 5, which means FP plus FN means rank prediction is 5, which means here compared to with PCA, sorry, without PCA, we got the number of rank predictions is 8. With PCA, number of rank prediction is 5, which means that here error is less, here error is more. If you see the classification report, you can understand clearly. So when you apply the all independent variables, means 13 features, so you got the accuracy 74.13. When you apply with the PCA, you will get the 83.87. This means here 74%, here 83%. So sometimes when you apply, depends on the algorithm, sometimes it may increase, sometimes it may decrease. Suppose if I take the elastic regression, so with 13 features I got the 80%. So on this with PCA I got the 70%. So we can't say when every time, if you supposed to apply the PCA, every time it may not be increase the accuracy. Sometimes it may increase the accuracy without compared to without PCA. So that's why depends on the data and it depends on the algorithm. It may increase the accuracy when we are applying the PCA. So this is the demonstration of the PCA with this Python programming language. I hope you understand this lecture. Thank you.